Hey folks, before we start this video, I need to let you guys know that all the footage used here is from the creative beta server. This means that the information here could be subject to change at the launch of 1.1 of Zenless Zone 0. Now with that out of the way, make sure you guys enjoy our first impressions of Qingyi. So what is up, ZZZ Proxies? It's your boy Josh, and today we have our first impressions of Qingyi video. Oh my goodness. Shout outs to the creative beta server. I'm extremely excited today to show you guys around version 1.1 in particular. Let's take a look at the newest limited S tier agent, Qingyi. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, I've been waiting for this character literally since the start. When, she was shown with Juyan, Qingyi was right next to her. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to get the pair of pub-sec duo. Woo! Let's take a look at what Qingyi has to offer for Zenless Zone 0. So let's start off with the breakdown of Qingyi. She is an electrical stun character aligned with the Criminal Investigation Special Response Team, or the PubSec team. Now, you guys might notice that as an electric stun character, we actually already have that archetype in the game in the form of Ambi as a free-to-play character. Now, many of folk might just be like, oh, Qingyi, literally the same archetype? Why would I pull for Qingyi when I could just use Ambi, right? And that's a completely valid argument, especially for how effective Ambi is. What does Qingyi bring to the table that could really entice many players to actually go for her over characters like Ambi and of course Kaleda and Lycon? Now, before we get to the skills and the equipment breakdown, as well as some combos and actual gameplay, my first impressions, what I've come to find out about Qingyi over just the very little time that I've been able to get a handle of her is that, I'll be honest, even though she is a stun character, this is the first time we might even see a pseudo or dual role character. Now, that might be very presumptuous to say, especially since this is a first impressions video, but Qingyi, even though she does a lot of stun, she, has a lot to do with impact and thus, increasing days of opponents, she really actually does a ton of damage in the form of her full kit rotation. And we're going to break that down right now. Firstly, we got to take a look at her basic skill, the Pen Ultimate. This is a 4-attack combo, and it'll deal physical and electric damage. During the third hit, continually press the basic to continue the attack and continuously strike the enemy. And this doesn't technically have a name. So in this video, here and right now, we are going to coin this third hit the Electric Boogaloo. So once she goes into her Electric Boogaloo attack, you can actually continuously strike and just literally spam the button to just go infinitely with the Electric Boogaloo. Now, there are going to be periods in which, why we explain, you don't necessarily always want to do that, but it is a sick looking attack, and it is aligned to her third basic attack. And then when she actually interrupts that or gets to her fourth attack, she will do a lunging, spinning, slam down combo. It looks pretty cool, and it's actually huge electro damage on that fourth hit. So many times you actually will want to be running that fourth hit in the combo. Next, we go into the basic attack, Enhanced Blossom. Now, this is literally just the charge attack, and this charge attack is honestly very underwhelming, and it doesn't build up a lot of days. It's, just a charge attack, but it does electric damage. We will talk about in a little bit why this attack honestly is the worst part of her kit, and you do not want to be using this Enhanced Blossom attack. One of the biggest reasons, actually, right next to it, why we don't want to be using that Enhanced Blossom attack is called the Flash Connect. Now, this is Qingyi's bar charge mechanic, in which she charges her bar called the Flash Connect voltage, her battery. And if this reaches 75%, she'll enter the Flash Connect state, in which when you use your basic attack, Enhanced Moonlight Blossom, her charge attack, instead of doing the Enhanced Blossom single stab of her staff, she will actually do an Enhanced Moonlit Blossom attack. Qingyi will consume all Flash Connect voltage and exit the state for every 1% of Flash Connect consumed over 75%. So again, let's say 100%. Her damage and days inflicted by the skill will increase by a total of potential 25%, and days inflicted 12.5%. 12.5%. Then the basic attack Enhanced Moonlit Blossom itself does not accumulate flash connect voltage. This just means that you can't recycle the electro damage that you perform with this, which makes sense. It would be kind of OP if you could recycle that. Again, for flash connect, it is any type of electro damage. So during her basics, during her technically during the Enhanced Blossom, but you genuinely do not want to be using that attack. It's very low in the flash connect counter. It's very low for days, not the most effective. You can be using your special and of course the chain. Very rarely will you want to be using the ultimate unless you actually have her invested, M6 or, whatever her Mindscape is for DPS. Don't really want to be using the ultimate, but we'll go into that nuance when we get to the Mindscapes. Then let's get to her Enhanced Moonlit Blossom. This is the coup de grace of her basic attack. And during the flash connect state, you hold the basic. Basically, you do a charge attack to launch a 5 consecutive forward rush. This executes a finishing strike. Note this, that after you do your rush attack, it goes into another finishing strike. Now, this finishing strike will allow her to build up what is known as subjugation stacks through her core passive. Now, we'll get into the core passive a little bit, but just note that she performs a finishing attack that inflicts massive electric damage. During the move to trigger the finishing strike early, you can actually release that button. And let's say you don't want to do the 5 attack. Let's say an enemy is about to hit you very, very difficult, very hard. You can actually get knocked out of this state. Note this. You have a little bit of, resistance to interruption or anti-interruption, but it's not enough, especially for elite enemies and boss enemies. Do not mess with them. Thus, you'll actually want to release the basic attack button and you'll actually finish your strike early. Not only that, she'll actually perform a perfect dodge while doing so. Now, this does 2 things for Qingyi. First off, she's able to perfect dodge, which increases your decibel levels, obviously, to the betterment of your follow-up or attack character. But she's also able to use that perfect dodge to increase more subjugation stacks. Let's talk about her core skill, the Eternal Seasons. When Qingyi lands a finishing strike on an enemy with her basic, she applies 5 stacks of subjugation, stacking up to 20 times. So in this case, at her level B, it's 20%. So she would get a total of 40%. Here, she'll get 45%. And at F, which if you can get her to level 60, of course, you get up to 30% stun damage multiplier when you're able to inflict that anomaly. Or not anomaly, excuse me, that's shock. Stun is different. Excuse me, stun, not shock. Now, for each rush attack during a basic attack Enhanced Moonlit Blossom, the finishing strike will apply an extra stack of subjugation. If the perfect dodge is triggered, it will directly apply 10 stacks of subjugation. So you're going through your Enhanced Moonlit Blossom attack, bow, 5 stabs. If you finish early, yet you do the finishing strike and you perfect dodge on a normal and elite enemy, your stacks are doubled, meaning you get a max 20 stacks automatically. When the character is stunned, you deal your 45%, 50 or 60% damage multiplier. Insane. Also, I can't do math. This is actually 50% stack. So here's 40%, 50%, and 60% on B, D, and F. Next, we go to her dodges. Her dodges are fairly, aligned with all the other characters in the game. Unlike Juyen, who actually incorporates her dodges into her basic, Qingyi doesn't have that. Basic dodges on dodge, dodge attack, and dodge counter. Okay? Assist, quick assist, defensive assist, and assist follow-up are very, very much similar to other characters. Nothing too big or contributing to her personal kit that makes her unique. Assist is pretty much across the board the same for most characters. Then her special attack. So you guys thought that these were special attacks. No, these are just basic attacks aligned with her basic attack combo chain. This is her special, called the Moonlit Begonia. When Qingyi has enough energy, you will press the EX special. When her bar is, I believe it's at 50. I believe it's at 50. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think her charge is at 50, which is, relatively average for a stun character. Then she'll quickly strike upwards, leaping into the air, then slam downwards with a powerful electric damage attack. If you hold to consume additional energy, you will do 1 or 2 more additional hits during that somersault period. I'll be honest, it is probably not worth it to do that attack just because it will consume additional energy for 2 extra hits. not terribly that contributing, to be honest, and you could just save that energy for another EX special in your next rotation. That's what I figured out, but maybe the numbers might change down the road. I'll let you guys know. And lastly, we have our chain attack. Again, we don't really want to look at the ultimate, the 8 sounds of Ganso, unless you guys are planning on making her DPS. Right now, we want to focus on her chain attack, which is the Tranquil Serenade. They're very, very similar, of course, but the chain attack is triggered when Qingyi is selected to activate it at the end of a chain, launches a series of powerful strikes over a large area in front, dealing massive electro damage. When this attack hits an enemy, yada, 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 the skill's damage increases by 3% for every stack of subjugation. So that means that this chain attack should be incorporated not at the end of rotations, but in the middle of rotations, meaning that you will start building up your days, and this chain attack comes into play when you have a few subjugation stacks, maybe like, let's say 5, 10 subjugation stacks from your enhanced Moonlit Blossom, right? You'll do probably 1 or 2 of those attacks. You'll probably have a few points into here. Let's say you have 5 or 10 points. That's already another 30% increased skill damage for the chain attack. That's kind of nice. So building up these stacks for Qingyi is going to be imperative to allow her to become the sub DPS character that she is. And lastly, we did want to mention that during the 3rd hit of her basic attack, you can actually parry. And I did want to mention that after the 3rd hit, if you're continually spamming the Electro Boogaloo, you can actually dodge out of the, out of an enemy attack, go into your 4th strike, yet the rotation of your next combo will continue at the 3rd hit. Yes, during the 3rd hit combo, stop pressing to interrupt the combo, transitioning automatically to the 4th attack. If the combo lasts for a certain time, the 4th attack will be enhanced, yada, 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 yada. So there is a point to where it goes like shing, and then you will know that your 4th attack is enhanced. But instead of starting from the beginning of your chain, or the start state of your chain, you actually will put like a save state almost on your 3rd Electric Boogaloo, and you continue to run that 3rd hit until you either stop it or interrupt it, or chain, assist, whatnot, yada, yada, yada. And of course, a lot of folks might be like, Josh, that just means we're just going to spam stuff with Qingyi. But of course, much like a lot of the other complaints about Zenless Zone Zero, yes, you can spam the left click button or your attack button, but it's not preferred at all. And it's incentivized against so because there's so much stuff involved with Qingyi's kit that you are required to use, your skill, your dodges and stuff like that, to where you can't stay in that state for long if you actually want to make the most out of her kit. And finally, I just wanted to mention the additional ability. I forgot to mention this right after mentioning the core, but when you have at least one attack type character and a character from the same faction, your basic attacks deal 20% increased days. If Qingyi's impact is greater than 120, each point over increases her attack by 6 up to a max of 600. So if we do our simple arithmetic, that means we need 100 points over 120, meaning we need 220 impact, which you guys might think is very, very high, especially since, I might not have the W engine to be able to do so. But of course, she has many ways, like with her Flash Connect, to increase her days, right? To increase impact elsewhere, right? Such that it shouldn't be terribly hard to reach this 220 points into days. So ideally, if you can hit around 180 to 200 as, a free to play, that should definitely be doable. And you definitely, if you are a whale, or if you are a high spender, or if you guys are a high investment into the character end game, you definitely can reach 220 if you make the right investments into your 6 slot, if you make right investments into your substats. Let us first start to show you guys the applications of Qingyi's basic attack. Now we, just before this, actually showed you a little bit of gameplay of Qingyi's basic attack, but let's actually show you what she can actually do here. Now, as you guys can see, on her 2nd and 3rd basic attack, she actually can lift normal enemies up into the air. Excuse me. Hold up. This guy is dazed and he's crazy. He's going crazy. Also in 1.1, there will be manual, assists, so that'll be good. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, and there we go. As you guys can see, if he is in a state where he can be lifted up on... Whoo! There we go. Literally, actually, on the first attack, you actually lift him up. So if you can dash... Bang! Easily. Easily. So, preferably, you can actually start with a dash attack. Lift the enemy up into the air and go into your 4 attack combo rotation. That's perfectly fine. You obviously don't need to. You can just start wailing and then get into what is known as the electric boogaloo. Now, boom. We'll just let it run out there. With the electric boogaloo, man, this attack is so freaking sick. And all it requires you to do, unfortunately, is to spam the attack button. So let's spam the attack button and you can keep going like this forever and ever and ever. Now, you guys might be wondering, Josh, why would I want to go on forever and ever and ever? Well, you don't, because the meter up there for your Flash Connect actually will dictate how much time you actually want to be running that attack. Now, let's use up the meter there. Bang! And that is the Flash Connect, excuse me, that is your enhanced Moonlit attack. The enhanced Moonlit Blossom. Okay, so I'm at 0 right now, and let's actually go to Julian to finish this enemy off really quickly. Thank you. Perfect. Now, let us start to count the seconds on how fast you can actually build up your Flash Connect with purely just the electric boogaloo. So let's start that. 1, 2, and here we go. And to 100. Oh, technically I can actually cut it shorter. So I apologize. So it should be like maybe like a couple seconds a little bit earlier, because that 4th hit will actually still add to the Flash Connect. So let us exhaust Flash Connect there. Bang. And we'll start all over again. Okay. Let's let that run out really quickly. And wow, you can see that extra damage bonus. 200% is nice. Okay. So how are we supposed to build up the stacks faster than spending all that time in the electric boogaloo state? Well, perfect you asked that, because you can actually use other electric attacks a la your EX specials. So, boom! As you guys can see, after the last hit of the EX special, I already have 30%, just around 30% on my meter. You can even say 25%, but that shaves off a second of time in the electric boogaloo state, meaning that it should only take around, here, let's go into the electric boogaloo state, build it up, and then finish, boom. Basically, I'm almost at max. I you know, should have done point something seconds a little bit longer, maybe 1 or 2 more electric boogaloo strikes would have got me to the 100%, but you guys get the deal. It is much faster, it shaves off a second, and for extra damage through the E skill, it's definitely worth it, right? So you should be using your EX skill and then rotating to your other characters. Pow, 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 electric boogaloo into strike. If you don't necessarily proc a stun there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bang, into the enhanced Moonlit Strike, then you should be able to get into 100% days leading into a chain. Okay, so that is her main attack lines, or her main combo lines, in order to get your enemies into the daze and the stun state. Talking about subjugation stacks, this guy hasn't necessarily, we haven't gotten to a situation where he has been stunned yet. So I'm gonna bring out, let's bring out a Wandering Enforcer. Quite there yet, but I could do the 4th. Bang! Let go. Boom. Boom. But in this particular state, this is where you can do the most damage with Juyen. So you want to be, you know, laying out your shot shell shots, bang, 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 and you will be dealing additional damage. Not only that, Qingyi will be taking away her subjugation stacks to increase the damage multiplier on stunned enemies. Very, very nasty. Next, let's talk about her electric boogaloo. Let's talk about her electric boogaloo. Now, this guy will want to attack us. Gonna switch back to you, go into electric boogaloo, and guess what? Hey, I can keep dodging and stay in my electric boogaloo state seemingly forever. Why is this good? Very much like Juyen and how she's able to dodge roll, right? How she's able to, you know, dodge, you know, perform a perfect assist while, or not perfect assist, while, perform a dodge attack. Excuse me. Perform a dodge attack. Perform a dodge attack. Oh, I'm so bad. Perform a dodge attack while she's, you know, there we go. Right? She doesn't lose damage during that time. Very similar to Qingyi, where this allows her to still build up your flash connect and also still do damage. This is very, very, very integral to her kit, so that you know, it cuts out the time of having to dodge, it cuts out the time of having to evade, and also cuts out the time of the loss of DPS, which is very, very important, especially at high levels, right? And Qingyi being a sub DPS character with how much damage, if you are, you know, performing her correctly, how she can stack up that damage, she can be incredibly, incredibly strong if you're able to keep the pedal on the metal. So let's dodge here. Let's go over here. Pow, 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 pow. He's gonna attack. Switch. All right. You don't have to do that necessarily, but let's actually show you one of Qingyi's really, really cool techs. Now, this actually applies to every single character, and it's what was coined by a good friend, Azriel, the DP assist, or what I call the parry dodge. Technically, it's, you know, a dodge into a parry, but I like to call it parry dodge because it sounds like prairie dog. But that's just me. We'll call it the DP assist for consistency's sake. So the DP assist with Qingyi actually is applied after you let go, or excuse me, not after you let go, after you dodge and assist. So it's not the DP assist where you actually dodge, input an attack, and assist. All you have to do is dodge, because the fourth attack will be automatically applied after you dodge, and then you can move into your assist, which actually lends itself to being, you know, a lot more easier to pull off. So let's try to do that really quickly. I did not do it really quickly. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And pow. As you can see, she went into that fourth somersault into a kick attack while I swapped into Juyen and still got off that attack. However, unfortunately, she will cancel, after she swaps out, she will cancel that third, you know, electric boogaloo attack. So as to where she would naturally just rotate back into electric boogaloo, she has to start the chain all over again. So let's have him attack real quick. Cool. That's not what I meant to do, but, you know, manual cancel. That'll help me out. So then I go here, I dodge, right? I go into a fourth attack, and then I go back into electric boogaloo. That won't happen if we flip to the assist, right? But as you guys can clearly see, right? She can DP assist quite effectively. Bang. And she's actually super easy to DP assist with, which is very, very nice. And out of the electric boogaloo, which helps her build flash connect, meaning you're building up days, you're building up your flash connect meter for, again, right, that enhanced Moonlit Blossom. You'll do your finishing strike attack after your 5 stabs, your 5 rush attack, and then you finishing strike. You gains subjugation off your core skill. And then when he gets into the stun state, that's when you start laying out damage with Juyen. That's when you start laying out damage with Qingyi. And then if you want to launch again to reset the whole, reset the whole rotation, that's what you do. So build up days, right? Build up your core passive with penultimate, Electric Boogaloo, build it up with your EX special skill, allowing you to enhance Moonlit Blossom, Juyen, back into Nicole, rotate over again. Those are the majority of cool little techs that we've, or not real techs, but you know, cool little techniques that we found with Qingyi. Of course, there is a little bit of juggling shenanigans that she can do, but it's not really, you know, that effective with her, especially with normal enemies. So let's actually go back to this guy. You can, again, juggle with Qingyi. I've been experimenting with her EX special incorporated into the juggle, but because she slams down on an enemy, it's very, very difficult to find an actual pairing outside of the best in slot team right here that would really be able to capitalize a juggle incorporating that EX special skill. So let's dash here. 1, 2. Oh, he's ready to attack. My bad. Excuse me. There we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And that's your basic juggle. You know, this is literally just understanding which of the basic attacks juggle. You can obviously incorporate, you know, Juyen's dash slides, you know, you can incorporate. Nicole doesn't have too many attacks that will allow her to maintain the juggle, but Juyen definitely does. Juyen definitely does, meaning, you know, this could go on forever. Obviously, is this the most practical? No, by no means. Right? And let's even incorporate the Electric Boogaloo. As you guys can see, let's incorporate it a little bit better. There we go. Come on, Electric Boogaloo. There we go. Woo! There we go. As you guys saw in those last 2 rotations, right, she goes into her Electric Boogaloo state, pow, 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 does the slam down. But if you can time it right, you can keep them in the air. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this Qingyi first impressions. What did you guys think of the character? What matters is your guys' opinions. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the new S tier electric stun units. Like the video if you guys would like me to do more of these first impressions for you guys. And for those of you who are creators or would like to use the footage, I implore you guys to do so, but please credit us over here at the J Shua channel, or that's me, Josh. Hi, it's me. And make sure you guys subscribe to get more Zenless Zone Zero content. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to click on this next video. YouTube thinks you'll like it. Thanks, folks.